Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is your girl Amber Johnson, and today, yes, we are doing another sit down video, but it's a little bit of a different approach because I'm taking a different approach on my channel. I want to take you guys, or not take you guys, but I want to give you guys like a behind the scenes look at some of the things that I do as I am building my social media marketing agency. Yes, you guys heard it. I have a social media marketing agency that I have created. It is called Avela & Co. And I am so excited to be able to help service-based female entrepreneurs with their brands. What I have found is that there is so much talk about going viral and being aesthetic and showing your products and blah, 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 but there are not enough people out there that are building a personal brand and making a connection with the audience, with the customers, with the people that they want to serve. And I know that that is the missing piece. So this is definitely not going to be aesthetic, but like I am not, like I like aesthetic, but I'm not really like an aesthetic person. So this is just going to be the way I normally do my thing, you know, just me, authentic, the way I am. Okay. And if you guys are meeting me for the first time, welcome to my channel. I am a mom, I am a wife, and I am an entrepreneur. And I have been posting videos on YouTube since 2016. I made my first social media account in 2005, y'all. So I have been doing this for a while. And if you are returning, welcome back. I appreciate you and your support and just always being there for me. So let's get into it. So before we even talk like designs or captions or content or anything like that, we have to get down to the basics of the business, okay? We need to map out, or I should say I map out whatever the client's core message is. We map out the audience's identity. We figure out what problem it is that the client wants to solve. And then we also figure out the story that the brand needs to tell. And I feel like most entrepreneurs, they unfortunately skip this step. And I feel like that's why their content feels like disconnected, or it feels like, you know, here's the brand and then they don't know the person behind the brand. And the reality is people buy from people, and that's just a fact. And so with Avela & Co., I like to think that the strategy, the identity, the purpose, those three things are literally the foundation of the business. So the next thing that we like to talk about is like the architecture of the content, like almost like you're building a house, okay? So this is where a weekly or a monthly structure would be built out. So, you know, what type of content would move the audience? What platform makes sense for the entrepreneur, the business owner, the CEO, whatever you want to refer to them as. The balance between authority, education, and their personality, because you don't want to put out boring content. And I feel like that's what's happening. People are just hitting people hard with their brand, or not their brand, but their product, their service. And it's just like blah. You know what I mean? There's no personal connection. It's like almost like they don't even care about the people that are buying from them. They just want people to buy. And it's just like, that's not the wave anymore. I'm sorry. And then obviously positioning the person both visually and verbally, because we want people to look at you, we want people to pay attention to you, but we also want to make sure that what you're saying is connecting with your audience and that it matches you. Because I gotta fix this, sorry. Because I feel like sometimes people will say one thing and like, it's almost like they don't look right saying it. And probably because they've been like fed the lines or something like that. I don't know, but everything needs to match up for people to be able to connect with it. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. And so once you have all of those things connecting, that's where the brand voice, the tone of the message, and the content pillars all pretty much come to life. So the next phase is the creation and the execution. So I think this is the part that people think is the whole process, like just putting out the content. And I feel like what happens prior to that is like literally just as important as the content, because if the tone is off, if the person doesn't know who they are, if they don't know who their audience is, if they don't know how to connect with their audience, the content is just going to fall flat. Like, it doesn't matter how pretty or whatever the case may be, because what if the people that are buying from you don't like that? They don't like that vibe. Then you've just created all of this content for no reason. Just saying. For the clients that I work with, what that looks like is maybe them having carousels or reels or stories, developing a message that will attract clients to them on each and every post, and making sure that all of this supports visibility of the owner and the brand, and then also leading them to conversion, and then making sure and then making sure that the content is packaged in a way that they can be consistent and not overthink it. Because if we've done all the back end work, then everything kind of just flows together and they can just post it and be done. You know what I mean? And so obviously when we talk about all of that, when you put all of that together, you can see how every piece of content has a job. Whether, like I said, if it's a carousel, like typically those are more educational. If it's a reel, those can be educational as well, but we like for those to be, entertaining and, connecting people with you, because they're getting, a little bit more of, maybe your personality. And obviously that depends on, who the owner is, who the CEO is, who the client is. And then in the stories, you're obviously connecting with your audience, the people that already follow you. Maybe you're doing some interactions, you're doing some polls, you're asking questions and things like that. So like I said, every aspect of that does have a job. And then you could also layer in like a live component, going live on your social media platforms to also connect with your audience, because a lot of people love that, especially if you have a physical product, you're able to sell that live. That's a topic for a different video, but I'm just saying that takes it to a whole new level. And so the last phase is actually reviewing and optimizing. So we do like a review phase, and that's where I would refine any messaging that needs to take place, adjust any visuals, and then if there's any tweaks that need to be done to make sure that everything is clear. So this is how Avayla & Co. is able to help entrepreneurs show up confidently, to show up consistently without that annoying, overwhelming feeling. Because honestly, posting on social media and, producing content and staying consistent, all of that stuff can be very overwhelming. And that's why people just give up and quit. And then they're wondering why, business is slow. And it's just because you don't have a social media presence. Duh. So if you're building a brand and you want clarity, you want structure and content that actually moves your audience to action, this is exactly what I help entrepreneurs do with my agency that I have launched. So make sure that you subscribe for more behind the scenes content, comment down below if you have questions about, maybe something that you have posted or have been posting and you feel like maybe it's not converting the way you want it to convert. I would be more than happy to, have a conversation with you to see where it is I could help. And just kind of, help you along in your journey, because believe it or not, social media is the way. It is the way. Okay. I was going to say the way of the future, but no, like we're here now. Like you have to have a social media presence. And I feel like businesses that don't, I feel like that's the missing piece. Like they may have seen, a downturn in business, because I know for me and a lot of the people that I know, when they, like, the first thing they do is check social media or they check Google or something like that, but they're checking online for a business, and that's how they determine if something is reputable or not. So if you don't have a social media presence and, you are deciding you're going to go against the grain, I would definitely say that that's the wrong decision. So anyways, I wanted to, like I said, just give you guys like a behind the scenes look of things that I do at Avayla & Co. I am, like I said, more than happy to have a conversation if you have questions. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the bell notification so you're notified each and every time I post a video, and I will see you guys in the next one.